Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Design Review Committee on Thursday, January 15th, 2026. I now call the meeting to order at 5:03 p.m. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates, absent. Member Getz,
Here.
Member Johnson,
Here.
Vice Chair Boyd,
Here.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's.
Sure.
It's been a while. Stand as you're able.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the order of the agenda as presented?
I motion to approve.
I
Have a-
second.
Okay, having heard a motion and a second to approve the order of the agenda, Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates, absent. Member Getz,
Yes.
Member Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boyd,
Yes.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to consent items. Lisa, back to you for an introduction, please.
Items on consent are typically routine and will be approved in one motion. The chair will call on anyone wishing to address the committee on any consent item on the agenda which has not been pulled by the committee for discussion. Each speaker will be permitted to speak only once, and comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes.
Okay, we're going to start with in-person public comments first. Anybody in the room? Seeing none, I see nobody on Zoom. Committee members, do you have any items you'd like to pull? Okay, I have one correction to the minutes, so do we need to pull that then? Okay, so I'd like to pull the minutes for the December meeting. All right, with that said, can we go ahead and approve consent items A, C, and D? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, Lisa?
Member Melissa Bates, absent. Member Getz,
Yes.
Member Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boyd,
Yes.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Yes. Okay, then we're going to return to the pulled item, which is approval of minutes from December 18th. Just one correction. I chaired that meeting, and it says that Rich chaired the meeting. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the December 18th, 2025 meeting?
I'll move to approve them as corrected.
Second.
Okay, having heard a motion and a second to approve the corrected minutes from the December 2025 Design Review Committee meeting. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates, absent. Member Getz,
Yes.
Member Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boyd,
Yes.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to public communications for non-agenda items. Back to you, Lisa, for an introduction, please.
This section is intended to provide members of the public with the opportunity to address the committee on items that are not on the agenda. This section is limited to 30 minutes. Each speaker will be afforded 3 minutes and may speak only once. State law does not allow the committee to discuss or act on issues not on the agenda, except to briefly respond or to ask staff to follow up on such items.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with in-person public comments. Okay, I don't see anything there. Do I see anybody on Zoom who'd like to make comments? Okay, don't see any hands raised. So we're going to move on to discussion items. So that brings us to item 4A. Staff, introduction, please.
Yes, this item is a discussion and possible action to approve a sign plan exception for Founders Square located at 1693 Mission Drive, APN 139143025. The proposed project is category exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Does that conclude your presentation?
Lisa will be doing the presentation
Okay.
this evening. I'm
Thought there was
helping
a
to
bit
read.
more.
We're just
I'm
waiting to
helping
get the PowerPoint up.
All right, there we
Helping to
go.
read the item.
So Lisa went to the snow.
Change your display settings to.
All right, here we go.
All right, so for item 4A, we're going to be discussing the sign plan exception for 1693 Mission Drive. So at this time, there is no existing sign plan for the multi-tenant center, which is now going to be called Founders Square. For the majority of the tenants, they are requesting a wall sign and a projecting sign where it allows for space. Wall signs for all of the tenants, and then the projecting if there is space for it. And then there is one ground sign and one wall sign there where exceptions are being requested. For the proposed ground sign, this is on the frontage of the building facing Mission. The height does exceed the allowed height, which is 6 feet 6 inches. The applicant is proposing 13 feet. The letter height exceeds that as well. And then there is no landscape planner, which is a requirement, and it is less than 75 feet from an existing ground sign, which is the adjacent building next door. And then for the wall sign exception request, this is one that also exceeds size and letter height. This is facing the parking lot on the north side of the building, just to update the name of the mixed-use center. So for the proposed signage, the majority of, or all of the tenant signage, including the wall signs and projecting signs, do meet the standards within the Solvang Municipal Code, with the couple exceptions down at the bottom highlighted in red. The remainder of the pieces of the signs do meet the required ordinance regulations. And this is exempt from CEQA. Staff is recommending approval of the sign plan as requested, as findings are consistent with Solvang Municipal Code 111314F. And the applicant is here if you guys have questions.
Okay, we're going to start with the committee. Any questions of staff to do with that presentation? Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and open it to public comment. We'll start with anyone wishing to speak in the room on person. I see nobody there ready to speak. Online? All right, then we're going to go ahead and close public comment and bring this item back to the committee for discussion. All right, does anyone have comments that you'd like to start with?
I think that the
go ahead.
sign will add a nice visual landmark. I like the archway, the arch to it, because it brings people through. And I think that particular building has always been, thank you, challenging for any of the businesses inside because of not having that wayfare or wayfinding aspect to it. So I really encourage that archway to be put up because I think that's going to add not just the visual, presence that we want, but it'll help a lot of the tourists and visitors.
My comment was similar. I think I looked it over pretty carefully yesterday. The size and scale of both the signs, the wall sign and the arch, I think fit within the building and
Yeah.
look very good.
Well, and I echo that. The exceptions fit the space, which is why it makes it much easier to approve something of that nature. The arch sign at the front adds a very elegant touch to the building and kind of gives it a kind of a gravitas or kind of a weight that is adds to the new look of the entire complex. So I think sounds like we are in somewhat of a consensus. Is there somebody who'd like to make a motion?
I move we approve the signs as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, having heard a motion and a second for item 4A, Lisa, will you go ahead and take a roll call vote, please?
Member Melissa Bates, absent. Member Getz?
Yes.
Member Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Boyd?
Yes.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next item, please.
Item 4B is discussion and recommendation to the Planning Commission for modification to standards for proposed facade improvements for an existing multi-tenant building located at 1687 Mission Drive, APN 139143026.
All right, so this one will be quick and short too. So facade improvements for 1687 Mission Drive. So the applicant is proposing a facade remodel to align with the adjacent building at 1693 Mission Drive, which was previously approved by the Design Review Committee. This includes new fenestration, exterior paint, brick veneer, and lighting. The brick proposed is a primary facade material. The approvals requested include the exterior trim colors that are noted on your staff reports. It's a tricorn black and the new colonial yellow. The proposed lighting for the exterior of the building is dark sky compliant. The applicant is requesting a modification to the objective design standards to allow the brick veneer as a primary facade material. Based off of Solvang Municipal Code Section 1110A7B1, aside from the facade material being primarily brick, the project does meet all of the other objective design standards. And staff recommendation is approval, this is for recommendation to the Planning Commission of the proposed facade improvements for the multi-tenant building located at 1687 Mission Drive to include the exterior trim color, fenestration, and the exterior lighting, and provide direction with the modification to the objective design standards to allow brick as the primary facade material. And again, the applicant is here if you guys have questions.
Okay, we're going to start with committee questions of staff.
My only concern with any of it, really, two questions actually, that the brick veneer being added to the smaller building match the brick veneer that's on the lower story of the Chomp building for better or worse. It's all used brick, but there's all different variations of used brick, and I'd like to see them be as close to the same as possible. Then the only other concern for me is there's a parapet being added on the west elevation of the building facing Valley Hardware. And that's the only place I find this yellow color. This thing is colonial yellow. I don't see that anywhere else on either building. And I think the object is to match both buildings as closely as possible. So if that doesn't occur on the other building, on the main building, I'd certainly like to see maybe either brick on that, all the way up on that parapet, or another color, the green color that we find on the main building.
Rich, do you have a question, though? We want to target questions to staff first here.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess those are the questions. Is there a way to clarify the brick veneer? And is there another place where we find this colonial yellow?
The plans that we received do state that it matches the building next door.
I'm sorry.
It does match the building next door. And then I can pull the plans up. I believe the yellow is also facing Mission as well, but let me double check.
Yeah, I needed some clarity on the drawing where you've got the existing facade.
But the applicant's here too, so we can
So,
have him clarify.
yeah, I think that might be a simpler way of doing it. Other questions of staff? Okay, so then why don't we go on to public comment? We'll start with anyone wishing to speak in the room. And perhaps this would be an opportunity for clarity to the couple of the questions. Would you like to address the questions that you've heard come up so far?
Madam Chair, I don't know where the yellow is either. I don't have a problem turning that to green. I don't know where the yellow came from, but I thought that was something that the city was asking for. So that's why, I didn't question it, but that's what our team came up with. I don't know where there's yellow on that building, on the exterior.
So it's this green, right?
I love this green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the green we have throughout.
And
Oh,
there's the,
I know where the yellow is. It's on a building that has not been yet proposed.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It's on a building that has not yet been proposed, the parking lot behind this project. There's some discussions going on in my company right now, whether we develop that parking lot or not. And I know that came up, so this is probably a remnant of that.
Okay.
so what does, help us
That's-
get clarity on that.
I'm good with the green.
Good, the green.
Okay, does that, okay, so what we're hearing are some proposed changes here. And I kind of just wanted to kind of circle back to where it's applied. Lisa, can you pull up, or,
The west elevation, it's not on either of those.
it's not on either one of those?
It's going to be on sheet A62 is where it's called out.
Okay, we don't have numbering of that.
There is a picture of
It's
it
on the
on
applicant's
page
plans. It's in the attachments that you guys have after the staff report. It's plan sheet A62,
There's a picture of that elevation, Lisa, on our page 19.
and it is the west elevation.
Yes.
Yeah.
My paper.
So it's on the proposed, it's at the bottom of the building.
Oh, it's actually on the parapet at the top.
Can you share your picture?
Yeah. So it's the top and then the bottom of that building as well.
It doesn't indicate it on my drawing as being on the bottom, but
Oh, because
picture
that's
right
not
there.
the plans.
Right here.
It's the last page right before the applicant letter.
Okay, and it's difficult to see because the contrast is minimal in the rendering. I did not understand that fully myself.
Oops, it's the plan.
Okay, so it's this, the above part
on the
right
adjacent
here
building is going to go to the same color.
is going to this color, which is, so
I can pull it up if you guys want. And show
I
you.
think it would be good, especially for if there's anybody watching this on YouTube or something, let's make sure that we have clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you blow that up on the computer?
Take off PowerPoint, open up the PDF, and then put the PDF to full screen.
As I look at this, well, we're still in public comments, so I'll hold that thought. Did you have any other comments that you'd like to make at this time? No. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see nobody on Zoom. Let's go ahead and close public comment. We can reopen if necessary, but then that'll open it up to discussion up here. The breaking it up with this color, now that I understand the placement, there's a kind of breaking up of the massing of the buildings where there's the cohesive colors that maintain through the brick facade, which is a great improvement from what I can see here. But I think it's nice to have some other color so that the massing is broken up a little bit along the line. And now that we understand from the rendering what we're looking at, that makes a lot more sense. And Rich, you had mentioned a parapet. Can you point out where you were specifically looking at that after Lisa brings up the picture? We can bring that up.
There's the parapet right there.
Okay, so now it makes more sense when this is, yeah. Okay, it was just not understanding the rendering, the differences between the brick and the paint. Are you able to bring it up? Okay, we're going to wait for that here for a second.
And this is just on the west side we're talking about.
Facing Mission Drive.
Right.
Well, I think there's some here as well. This is facing the alley then, right?
Yeah.
I call it alley, it's actually facing the hardware store, call it that. Okay, well, we're not deviating from plan in our discussion here, so perhaps it's not entirely necessary.
Any other discussion items?
No. Committee, are you comfortable with our discussion without a visual?
Yeah.
It does match the proposed, as in the packet, so I think we aren't as concerned about having to show that to public, because there's nothing that's deviating from what's presently there. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Is there further discussion on this project for the exceptions or any of the other elements?
No.
All right, I'll entertain an motion.
So I just want to clarify,
Yes.
is there going to be an additional recommendation to the planning commission? Just as a point, actually, back up, as a point of order. So this is our first, what is called a modification to standards. So the DRC role here is to provide as much info as part of the recommendation to the planning commission. And so the planning commission will then, city staff then forwards a recommendation to the planning commission. So if there's any additional changes that needs to get completed as a part of your recommendation, now would be the time to do that.
Did anybody see any other changes once we had a clarity on where the placement of the paint went? It seems as though we have agreement here, but let's make that official. So we are making a recommendation. Raphael, point of order, are we needing a vote on that, or are you merely taking notes on that?
We would like the formalization with the vote.
Okay, so let's go ahead. I guess I can make the motion to recommend to the Planning Commission the modification to standards for the proposed facade improvements to the building located at 1687 Mission Drive as presented in the packet. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, having heard a motion and a second to item 4B here. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates, absent. Member Getz,
Yes.
Member Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boyd,
Yes.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Yes.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the continued improvements. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so then we move on to committee member comments. Anybody have any comments today? All right, and then we'll go on to city staff comments.
Oh, thank you. That was our first go around for substantial conformance termination, or not substantial, but the compliant. I've lost my words. Anyways, so from the objectives I standards. So that again, that's sort of a reminder that you'll be recommending things to the planning commission, and then they formally will adopt a resolution, and then from there, there's a conditions of approval. If you actually like, I can forward the members the conditions, what it ultimately gets forward to the planning commission, so you can take a look, see of how it ultimately will turn out.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So again, just giving a little bit of a lesson there. As far as items that are going, I know there's a lot of chatter in town about projects that have sort of stalled out and not really gone anywhere. I do have happy news for one of them, and that's 425th Street. So PG&E has been working feverishly with the applicant, and we issued out an encroachment permit to underground the utilities, which was a requirement of that project. And so hence our partners at Fire had asked to put a stop work order on it. So that's now hopefully beginning to move forward, and we'll start seeing movement again and hopefully completion of that project in the very short term. We do have a city council goal session meeting, and that's going to be in February on February 7th, the beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning at I believe it's the Cork. So that is an open meeting for the entire public with our city council to go over goals for the fiscal year of 2026 through 2028. So we've wrapped up our 2024 and through 2026 goals. This is actually an extremely worthwhile meeting to go to, because what this meeting does, it gives us sort of the path for city staff perspective of what we're going to do within the next 2 years. And so these goals will be drilled down to only about 5 or 7 goals. And again, really sets the precedent of what city staff will be working on over those 2 years to help meet and make those goals. As far as your February meeting goes, do we have any items on the docket? So we do not. I'm going to attempt to feverishly either finish off the design handbook admin draft. It's been in the back burner, or quite possibly even bring up the sign one, because we do have a sign. We do have a sign manual that needs to get done as well, per our direction from City Council on Monday. So, anyways, if not, we will have a February meeting if no other items are on the docket, and we'll council it. We'll see you in May or in March. So, with that, that'll conclude my presentation.
Good. I guess if there's no other issues, and in our chairman's absence, I will adjourn the meeting at 5:29.